continues to lead in D class. How Sweet It Is Too has led in its class really this whole entire race, doing an excellent job. Aboard How Sweet It Is Too, and we go on board now, the benefit of our onboard camera. On board How Sweet It Is Too, we have Jim McIntyre, who is the driver. Terry Ayers is the throttle man. Terry is from St. Louis, Missouri. Carl Myers from Canada's New York is the owner of How Sweet It Is Too. There's our helicopter in the background with Mr. Tom McCready, the helicopter pilot. He's from Helicopter Transport out of Norfolk, Virginia. Also aboard a helicopter, Jeff Girardi and Gary Johnson. There's the shot from our onboard camera, which is on the bow of How Sweet It Is Too, a 32-foot skater powered by two 600 horsepower MRD inboards with Mercruiser drives. Once again, Jim McIntyre and Terry Ayers aboard, doing a fine job, have led the whole race. They are currently in first place in D class. How Sweet It Is Too running excellent at this 1993 Virginia Beach Offshore Grand Prix. How Sweet It Is Too, currently in fourth place in national points. And if you look at our bow, or look at How Sweet It Is Too's bow, you'll see our camera, which has been mounted on the bow. A little tiny camera giving us tremendous pictures. There, as we move a little closer, you can see that little thing sticking up there from the bow. Well, that's our camera. That's our onboard camera. Amazing technology. How Sweet It Is Too is also a user of AMSOIL products. How Sweet It Is Too leading in D class. Some of the other competition, Eastern Express, Pipeline Express, but most of these boats now in offshore D have really retired. And How Sweet It Is Too really dominated D class for this entire race. There's Wits End, currently in second place in C class. And there you see Wits End on the left side of our picture, just as How Sweet It Is Too passed Wits End. There you see Wits End behind How Sweet It Is Too. How Sweet It Is Too is the final boat now that we will be covering, and very shortly we will be compiling the final results of this 1990.